Hello, everyone, and welcome to the BGL stream. This is Board Game Lawyer, and tonight I'm going to play some Marvel Champions from Fantasy Flight Games. And so let's get down to the table and find out who we're going to watch this evening. All right, let's see what we got here. All right, so I got the board set up. Tonight we're going to be playing Jessica Drew, Spider Woman, versus the Green Goblin, unleashing the mutagen in the mutagen formula encounter deck. All right, so let's take a look at the Green Goblin first off, see what kind of scheme he's up to. So he is up to unleashing the mutagen. His contents are Goblin 1 and Goblin 2 because we're going to be playing in standard mode today. We're also going to include the mutagen formula encounter set as well as the standard encounter set, and one modular encounter set recommended is Goblin Gimmicks. I took that out and I put in Goblin Gear from the Sinister Motives campaign box just to see how that plays. I'm not sure that I've done that yet, so I just want to see how that's going to play in the mutagen formula encounter deck. So as far as our setup is concerned, it says to put a Goblin Thrall minion into play, engage with each player, and shuffle the encounter deck and advance to stage 1B. So the game nicely put Goblin Thrall out onto the table for me. The Goblin Thrall has a scheme of 1, attack of 1. It has hit points of 3. He's a guard. It says while this minion is engaged with you, you cannot attack the villain. All right, so he's going to guard the Green Goblin. The Green Goblin reads that he is a villain with a scheme of 1, an attack of 2, and he has a forced response. After Green Goblin attacks and damages you, place 1 threat on the main scheme. All right. So let's take a look at the other side of unleashing the mutagen. And it reads on side 1B, when completed in player order, each player not engaged with a goblin minion must discard 3 cards from the encounter deck and put the first goblin minion they discard this way into play. Engage with them. It begins with 2 threat on it, and it schemes out at 7, adds 1 at the beginning of each round. So it's already got its 2 threat on it. It will notice on the board. Okay, so let's take a look at Jessica Drew. She's a double agent. We chose 2 aspects instead of 1 during deck building, and so what I decided to use was leadership and justice. And I have an equal number of each of those cards from those aspects in my deck. And so the action is to look at the top card of any deck. So I could take a look at the top card of my deck, take a look at the top card of the Green Goblin's deck using her ability. Let's flip Jessica Drew just for a second so that we can read her hero side. Because she has a superhuman agility, which is an interrupt. When you play an aspect card, Spider Woman gets +1 thwart, +1 attack, +1 defense until the end of the round, and you use a limit of once per round for each aspect. So I need to find a way to kind of mark that she's played different aspects. I think I can do that. I'll just put tokens on her to notify that. So that makes up for the fact that she's only got 1 thwart, 1 attack, and 1 defense, because whenever she plays these different aspect cards, it'll actually start to increase, and it could increase it considerably depending upon how many cards she can play in her turn. So we'll look to see what Spider Woman can do. In the meantime, let's take a look at the hand that was given to me to see if there's anything that I want to mulligan off. So we have the Venom Blast, which is a deal 5 damage to an enemy. We have Clear the Area, which will help us with that unleashing the mutagen up there. And that says remove 2 threat from a scheme. If it removes the last threat, then you can draw a card. So that's a good one to keep around. We also have Strength, Make the Call, Last Stand, and Nick Fury. And this is my Fury Forever deck that I made quite some time ago that I have a lot of fun playing with. So let's see how it turns out today. But let's begin in our alter ego form. And we're going to use her ability to look at the top card of the villain deck. So let's see what that is. So I'm going to draw the top card. It is Overrun. When defeated in player order, each player must discard 2 cards from the encounter deck and put each goblin minion they discard this way. Now there's a ton of goblin minions in this deck today, and it's pretty thin. I mean, the goblin gear is not a very big modular set, and of course the standard set's the only other modular set in there outside of the encounter cards. So there's a lot of minions that could pop out, so that could be very dangerous. I'm gonna put that card right back on top, so that uses Jessica Drew's ability. And since it is Fury Forever, and that's kind of the whole idea behind this. Oh, I tell you what, for the sake of uh, I didn't really get a chance to, and that's all right. We'll just we'll spend this card, Venom Blast. We'll also spend Strength and one more card for Nick Fury. I almost hate to do Clear the Area, but I think I included 3 of those in my deck. I'm not sure, but I may have 3 in my deck. Clear the Area is probably one I want to keep a hold of, but we'll discard it because I really want to put out Nick Fury for that card draw. Okay, so we'll discard all these cards, and then Nick will draw us 3 cards. So we got Go Down Swinging, we also have Chance Encounter, and we have the Power in All of Us. All right, so ways to get Nick Fury back if we would choose, if we would like. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, we could do some cycling now. So let's flip over Jessica Drew to her hero side. And we'll have to keep track of what aspects we play. So I do think that Nick Fury is going to attack that Goblin Thrall. Or he could remove threat. Because we can discard an ally I control to deal damage equal to that ally's printed cost. And then I could actually make the call to get Nick Fury back on the table. And I could use that Go Down Swinging to knock out the Goblin Thrall. So how about we take care of threat with Nick Fury? So yeah, we'll do that. Alright, so Unleash the Mutagen is now cleared. The Goblin Thrall. If I put Chance Encounter there, I could actually go find a... Because this Chance Encounter says when attached side scheme is defeated. Oh, it's for side scheme. It only works on side schemes, so it doesn't matter. So Nick Fury takes the threat off of Unleashing the Mutagen. He's now going to go down swinging, which means that we discard an ally we control to deal damage to an enemy equal to the ally's printed cost. So that's how we can get rid of the Goblin Thrall, and we'll mark Spider-Woman that she has played a leadership card. So we'll just add 1. Let's see, is there different color markers here? Yeah, there is, isn't there? I'll just use an all-purpose marker. Okay, and we'll just remember that that's leadership, that she played leadership. So Go Down Swinging was played. Nick Fury goes to the discard pile. And Goblin Thrall is defeated. But we do have Make the Call. And we can spend these cards here. Last Stand, Chance Encounter, and the Power in All of Us to go grab that Nick Fury out of the discard pile, put him on the table, and when Nick Fury enters play, he can draw 3 more cards. So there is Meditation, there is the Last Stand, and there is Finesse. Okay, and that generates a resource, that Finesse card does. So discard these cards. Now we did play another leadership card, which was Make the Call, so we don't get to add any more tokens to that. But we do have Nick Fury out, and he is going to attack the Green Goblin. He's going to knock 2 damage off of him. Alright, so knock 2 health off of him. And again, it says Green Goblin attacks and damages you. Place 1 threat on the main scheme. So Nick Fury could be used as a blocker now, and I think we're going to spend that Meditation and that Last Stand to go ahead and get that Finesse out on the table, because that could come. And so that could be so handy, having those extra resources every turn. So played Finesse. We're going to do damage with Spider-Woman. We're going to knock him for 2 more. And then we're going to finish our turn and turn things over to the Green Goblin. So Green Goblin is going to add 1 threat to unleashing the mutagen. And just quickly, let's see what we got in our hand. We got another Make the Call. We got a Clear the Area, Chance Encounter, Venom Blast, and another Clear the Area. Okay. So Green Goblin is going to attack. Nick Fury's going to block. He deals a boost card. His boost is 1. We saw that earlier. 1. We saw that earlier. Plus 2 knocks Nick out. So we'll discard Nick. We'll discard Overrun. And then we draw a card for the Green Goblin. And it is Remote Navigation. It's a treachery card. When revealed, if Advanced Glider's in play, the villain activates against you. If it's not in play, search the encounter deck and discard pile for Advanced Glider and reveal it. Okay, so we'll go look for his glider. I don't think it's in the discard pile. I'll just make sure and look there first. Less cards look through. Nope, that's my deck. Let's flip over and look at his. Pretty sure it's not. Nope, don't see it there. Let's look through the encounter deck, and we'll look for that glider. Let's see. Can I make this box bigger? No. We'll find it. It's in here somewhere. I haven't played with these cards near as much as I have with some of the others. There's our Advanced Glider. Comes into play. And let's read what the text is on it. It says, attached to the villain, force response. After attached villain activates against you, it activates against you again. Limit once per round. Hero action, discard any number of attack cards from your hand with a combined resource cost of 3 or more to discard this card. Okay. That's brutal. Activates twice. Do I have attack cards? Here's attack of 2. No, don't have it. Okay. So, we do need to get rid of that. Discard any number of attack cards from your hand with a combined resource cost of 3 or more. Discard this card. You know, I don't know that I have a tremendous amount of attack cards. I already threw off 1 Venom Blast earlier. So let's function F12. Take control of this game again. We will make the call. How about we make the call to grab a Nick Fury. Spend these 4 resources here to go grab Nick. And so that puts 1 counter back onto her again. That should have cleared at the end of the turn. So we'll discard these cards. Discard, make the call. Nick Fury comes into play. And we draw 3 cards. We got a Contaminant Immunity, Pheromones, and Make the Call. I like the Pheromones. That's a good card. I also like Contaminant Immunity, but I haven't taken any damage yet. That just gives me a tough. But you know what? Keeping him from doing extra damage because he activates twice. After attached villain activates against you, it activates against you again. So if I stop him from activating by putting a stun card on him, or if I stop him from scheming because he has a scheme card on him, so he won't actually activate against us if he's stunned or if he's confused. And I kind of like that. So I think for sure we're going to play Pheromones. We'll hang on to Make the Call because we're able to use Finesse to pay for Pheromones, and then we'll use Contaminant Immunity. So we will stun him, and we will confuse him. And we'll discard both of those. Now we can activate with Nick to do 2 more damage to the Green Goblin. And then we'll activate also with Spider Woman to do 2 more damage to the Green Goblin. We just kind of got to keep plugging away at him. And so my choices are to flip down, try to get extra cards, and look at the top card of his deck, or to remain in hero form and block with Nick Fury. Nick Fury will be lost at the end regardless, so I think what I'll do is I'll just go ahead and flip over to my alter ego form, flip card, and maybe that'll afford us to get enough cards then to be able to actually do something with Jessica later on. So I do need to add 1 um, consequential damage to Nick Fury. Yeah. And let's look at the top card of his deck. And it is, okay, it's 3 boost. So this is actually going to most likely come out into play. Attach the enemy with the highest printed hit points without another Goblin glider attached. And this is not actually a Goblin glider. This is an advanced glider, so he's going to have 1 for each foot. If you cannot discard gain surge, spend 2 energy resources and discard this card. It just gives him a +1 attack. So that's what's going to be on top of the encounter deck. Remember, he's confused, so he won't draw a card. So that one's going to get drawn for his encounter card. So good to know. We'll go back to my turn, and then we'll end it by functioning F12. And one more time, because I don't think I did it during his turn. Are we good? Okay. Let's try this again. There we go. Okay, so we have Go Down Swinging, Last Stand, Skilled Investigator. I like Skilled Investigator. And Energy. So good. We can get Nick back. All right, great. And she removes this token off of her. There we go. So we add 1 threat to Unleashing the Mutagen. He is confused, so he will not activate. So if he does not activate, I'm assuming his advanced glider will not activate. After attach villain activates, activate again. I think we stopped that. So, see if I have any attack events in my hand. Now he's going to get that Goblin glider that we had seen before, and it just gets added to him. So he's +1 attack now. He's really bumping up his stats and his attacks. All right, so at the end of the round, Nick Fury is discarded. And we'll function F12. See if that works. Yep, that worked. And Jessica Drew, it's her turn now. All right. 15 cards left in my deck. Nick Fury's in the discard pile. Jessica Drew is going to look at the top card of the Goblin deck. And it is Overconfidence. When revealed Alter Ego. When revealed Hero, Green Goblin attacks you. If at least 3 damage was dealt by this activation, this card gains Surge. Ooh. I need to be able to stop that somehow. All right, let's go back and look at our hand. Still our turn. We're going to go get Nick Fury. We're going to play Make the Call. We're going to flip Jessica Drew first, though, before I make the call, so that she can get the bonus for that leadership card. Yeah. So make the call. Energy. Go Down Swinging. And Last Stand. All of these will combine to go find Nick Fury. Let's get him first before I discard on top of him. There we go. So Nick Fury comes out on the table. We draw 3 cards. 1, 2, 3. There's one way or another. Now it gets interesting because one way or another cards start to pop out. And I've got Thwart. Still don't have any attack events, but I do have ways to get things. So how about we one way or another? Max once per round, search the encounter deck for a side scheme, reveal that side scheme, draw 3 cards. Okay. Let's go look at the encounter deck and find hopefully a cheesy side scheme. Look at the deck, all cards. So the side schemes that we have in there are Goblin reinforcements. We're going to be able to place 1 additional threat here for each Goblin minion in play. So that's one that we could technically remove. We also have another one, Goblin reinforcements. This is probably a good time to put it out since there's no Goblin minions on the table. There's Goblin Nation. Each Goblin enemy, including Green Goblin, gets +1 attack. That's only 2 threat. Overrun. And we take a chance of getting more goblins on the table by that one. And limitless supply, that'd probably be the last one since it costs 5 Thwart to get rid of it. So how about we just grab those goblin reinforcements for now, because it's only going to place 2 threat on this side scheme. I'll set it right over here next to the main scheme. So that one way or another is another color card that were played. So we have both leadership and justice that have been played this turn. And now one way or another is discarded, but we draw 3 more cards off our deck. So we've got Self-Propelled Glide, we've got a Genius card, and we've got the Power in All of Us. Okay, so Inconspicuous. If we put Skilled Investigator out there on the table, advantage there is hero response after a side scheme is defeated, exhaust Skilled Investigator and draw a card. I do have Inconspicuous in hand, remove a total of 3 threat from among schemes in play. So we can get rid of that Goblin reinforcements and also take 1 threat off of Unleashing the Mutagen. And that'll draw us another card, but it's going to cost us 1 to play that Skilled Investigator. Or we could just Nick Fury off the Goblin reinforcements. I have choices. I don't have any other color cards in my hand. Maybe I'll draw something with that Skilled Investigator. So let's do that. We'll Nick Fury will knock 2 threat off Goblin reinforcements, which will discard it. That side scheme is defeated, so we're going to exhaust Skilled Investigator to draw a card. And that's another finesse card. That's a good one to have. That helps us to pay for things. So Nick Fury takes a hit. For thwarting that. We'll spend 2 resources, our Genius card, to put out Finesse. Right? Discard that. And we also have Captain Marvel, who is awesome. She also draws a card. So how about we spend 4 resources to put out Captain Marvel. We'll spend all 4 of these to put out Captain Marvel. 1, 2, 3, and 4. She also draws cards. I have 8 cards left in our deck, so we got to be careful. I still can't do anything about this advanced glider. And now Goblin Glider is out of reach. So we could either remove 2 threat from the Unleashing the Mutagen using Captain Marvel, which will allow us to draw a card, or we could do 2 damage to Green Goblin. I think at this point we're going to do 3 damage from Spider Woman to Green Goblin, so that'll knock him down to 5. Captain Marvel is going to attack Green Goblin or unleashing the mutagen. How about we just remove threat? That's only a threshold of 7. That could threat out so quickly. And I didn't use my finesse cards. Might be a waste. But we'll have them for later. So we did that. We drew a card. It's one way or another. We'll hang on to that for the next turn for sure, because you saw what it did this turn. It allowed us to have a massive turn. And it doesn't have the necessary icons on it to do anything any good there. So yeah, we'll end our turn. Function F12. Readies everything, draws everything. Jessica Drew's apartment, self-propelled glide, inconspicuous, everything's here. So we're going to put one threat on unleashing the mutagen. Green Goblin is not going to attack because of his, yeah, he's stunned. So he's not going to attack, which also does not trigger the advanced glider. All right, that's great. And let's read this again, though. After attached villain activates against you again, limit once per round per player. So it can only do that once per round, but I got a feeling it's going to happen here because we're going to draw this encounter card. We looked at it already. We saw what it was. It's when revealed, hero, Green Goblin attacks you. If at least 3 damage was dealt by this activation, this card gains Surge. If at least 3 damage was dealt by this activation, this card gains Surge. So we know he's already +1. He's going to attack. We're going to block with Nick Fury. So he does activate. He's going to activate again. So overconfidence with this attack is going to deal 0, 2, 3. 3 damage has been done. Yeah, so discard Assault, discard Overconfidence, discard Nick Fury, and now the decision, because he's going to have to activate again because of this advanced glider. I still don't have attack events in my... I'm lacking on attack events. So, if Spider-Woman blocks, she can block for 2 + 1 is 3. Yeah, so there's 3 there. I think, should we take the damage? Should we take the damage? Or should we defend? Let's take the damage. 2, 3, plus this boost card is 1 is 4. So it's going to knock her down to 1, 2, 3, 4, down to 7. Discard card. And that's going to end Green Goblin's turn. Okay. Function F12. Alright, so back to Spider-Woman. Both of these counters clear from her. Captain Marvel has an opportunity to activate. There's no way at this point to get Nick Fury, I don't think, back. But I think that for the sake of interest, we will go ahead and activate with Captain Marvel to at least draw a card, because we know that if we play one way or another, there's only 3 cards left in the deck. If we play one way or another, there is no hope of getting Nick Fury back. There's a slight chance. I may have seen all 3 of them make the calls, so maybe not, but I hate to just shuffle Nick Fury back into the deck because we won't be able to get him again. But at least we'll have Captain Marvel that we could cycle, who is pretty good too. So she's going to do 2 damage to the Green Goblin. Knocks him down to 3. Oh, you know what? And we got to pay attention to this. After Green Goblin attacks and damages you, place 1 threat on the main scheme. So yeah, we need to put 1 more on there. And that draws us a card. So self-propelled glide. And now we got that one way or another. So one way or another, We'll go look for that. Probably that same. There was two. Remember, there was two in that deck that were similar, and they were Goblin reinforcements, right? Yeah. So again, when revealed, place one additional threat here for each Goblin minion into play. There's no Goblin minions in play, so Goblin reinforcements comes out. That will add one token to Spider Woman, because now we played a Justice card and we draw three cards. So let's go back to our deck. And so there's one, there's two. Oops, there we go. And now we decked ourselves, so it shuffled our deck for us. And we're going to have to deal ourselves an encounter card because of that. So we'll go up here to move the board around a little bit. There we go. We'll go up to Green Goblin, deal an encounter card. We'll set that off to the side. That's an encounter card that we're going to have to deal with on our next turn. And after we've shuffled, we need to grab one more card, right, of our deck. 1, 2, 3, 4. That was 5, one way or another. Oh yeah, we drew one because of Captain Marvel, so we got one more card to draw, and it's energy. Okay, good. That's handy. So we'll discard one way or another, and we do have both of our finesse cards out on the table now, and we can get rid of Goblin reinforcements. We do have a inconspicuous card here. It says remove a total of 3 threat from among schemes in play. So I like that idea. We'll use finesse to play inconspicuous. So we'll remove 2 threat off of Goblin reinforcements. We'll discard that one, and then we'll drop one more off of Unleash the Mutagen for inconspicuous. And because we knocked out all the threat, we can trigger Skilled Investigator, and that brings another inconspicuous card up into our hand. Okay, and I still don't have any attack actions, right? Nothing here is attack. Nothing here is attack. So that advanced glider is really being problematic right now. So, tell you what, let's take care of getting Spider Woman some health. She needs health. So contaminant immunity. We'll spend one finesse card, and we'll spend the one way or another card. So we want to hang on to that one. That'll get us our card draws next turn. Let's just hang on to one way or another right now. We'll discard inconspicuous. So we'll use that other finesse card, inconspicuous, to play contaminant immunity. So we heal 3 damage from Spider Woman. 1, 2, 3. And that gives her an extra color that she's played this round. So we got yellow and green so far. Yeah, contaminant immunity. I think that also gives her a tough status card. Yeah, tough. She's now tough. Add tough. Captain Marvel, that was her. She needed to take one consequential damage. We got pheromones that we could play, and we have 2 resources that we can spend on them. Love it. So now we played a leadership card, so that adds another color. So we have 3 colors so far. That brings her up to 4 thwart, 4 attack, 4 defense. And pheromones, that's going to both stun, and it's going to confuse the Green Goblin. So we've spent this, discarded. We have self-propelled glide, Jessica Drew's apartment, and we've got options now. So Spider Woman is going to attack Green Goblin for 4, and so we will go to the next villain. Let's take a look and we'll see what he says. It says, when revealed, deal 2 encounter cards to each player. So here's 1, and here's 2. Now we're up to 3 encounter cards, plus extras. Um, and then it says force response. After Green Goblin attacks and damages you, place one threat on the main scheme. Mm. Well, I do think that we need to continue to do damage to the Green Goblin, for sure. So we're going to use that self-propelled glide. Hero action, ready Spider Woman. She gains aerial till the end of the round. So we'll spend Jessica Drew's apartment to ready her. She's still at 4. So we're going to take 4 health. And he didn't get a tough card, did he? No. 1, 2, 3, 4. Drops him down to 14. Discard both of these. We got another self-propelled glide. So we spent Spider Woman to do 4 damage. We're going to spend one more to do self-propelled glide one way or another. Discard these. She's exhausted to do 4 more damage. It takes Green Goblin down to 10. Mm. Okay. It's getting rough. All right. Question is, do we stay in alter ego form? Or in our hero form, or do we flip down to our alter ego form? I don't think I flipped this turn. Let me make sure. Let's go back up. Removed. Exhausted. Yeah. No, I could flip down, right? I think. I don't think I flipped her. It was a long time ago. A lot of cards got played. Yeah. Yeah, she can go down. And what's the advantage to that? So he doesn't activate his confused. See, he's got all these extra cards he's going to flip, and I don't know how badly that'll hurt us. But you know what? It'll give us 6 cards, so let's do it. Let's flip. We're going to flip down to our alter ego form, and let's do this. Let's look at the top card of his deck, and it is Goblin Soldier. So that is likely to be a encounter card. Deal 1 damage to the engaged player. That's a win defeated ability. So we're going to start seeing some Goblin minions pop out on the table. So it's good that we got rid of those Goblin reinforcements earlier, I think, for that purpose and that reason. So let's ready everything. Let's see what I drew. And I got Nick Fury back, Chance Encounter, Contaminant Immunity, Make the Call. Yeah, these are all good cards. Yep, that's kind of what you want to see, right? Yeah. Yeah, I think we could do some damage if we can make it through this turn. So, um, begin by placing 1 threat onto Unleashing the Mutagen. He's confused, so that card goes away. So that ends his activations. And we draw 1 more card. And let's begin by looking at this first one that was dealt all those years ago. It is I See You. When revealed, Goblin attacks you. If you are in alter ego form, do not give the villain a boost card for this activation. Oh, but he's stunned. So he can't attack me. So he's not going to activate either. So that's great. It just removes the stun card. That's exciting. All right, discard that. Next card is a Goblin Thrall, who is a guard. So we'll put him out. Next, we draw a Goblin Soldier, who has a win defeated ability. And then we draw our other Goblin Soldier. We remember seeing them. So no, that's good. That's all good. I do need to remove these tokens off of her. 1, 2, 3. All right, good. So now I've got Captain Marvel, Nick Fury, Jessica Drew, finesse, skilled investigators. I don't have any side schemes. I got to get rid of this goblin throw. I think I probably could have finished this game off had it not been for that goblin thrall coming into play, because he's only got 10 health on him and he does not have any way to protect himself from the 10 damage except for this guard here. So if Captain Marvel attacks the guard, we're going to lose Captain Marvel, but she will draw a card. So 2 damage onto the goblin thrall. Oops. Draw card. It is strength. That's good. That's real good, actually. So Captain Marvel's defeated. If I bring Captain Marvel back, she could draw another card. I could use Make the Call to bring her back. If I would have used Last Stand, that would have knocked out the Goblin Thrall altogether whenever I used Captain Marvel. But I didn't. So I will attempt to not be cheaty in doing so. How about we do this, though? Let's flip over to our hero side. And we do this. Spider-Woman's going to attack the Goblin Thrall, knocking him out. Discard. Okay. Nick Fury is going to come into play. We'll use Clear the Area, Strength, and Chance Encounter to bring Nick Fury into play. Nick Fury. Let's discard these cards first. Discard. Okay. Nick Fury draws 3 cards. 1, 2, 3. All right. Nick Fury is going to attack the Green Goblin for 2. And he's going to play Last Stand. As he does so, when an ally you control attacks, it gets +3 for that attack. After that attack resolves, discard the ally. So 3 more damage. Yeah, that's game. Last Stand is gone. Nick Fury is gone. But we have the Make the Call. So we will spend 1, 2, 3, and 4 cards to go grab Nick Fury, put him back into play. So we'll discard this one, discard that, discard these. And then Nick Fury, when he comes into play, instead of drawing cards, he's going to do 4 damage to an enemy. So Green Goblin gets hit for 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then Nick swings for 2, knocking the Green Goblin out. Okay. I think I did everything right. But every time I think I did everything right, I invariably did something not right. So yeah, I didn't add tokens necessarily to Spider-Woman because I saw that the end of the game was in reach just by recurring Nick Fury. And so this is a powerful deck. It's a way to, I think there's only 2 allies in here, Nick Fury, and then her signature ally is, let's see, Captain Marvel, right? Yeah. There she is. So Captain Marvel, she draws cards. Skilled Investigator draws cards. Clear the Area draws cards. Nick Fury draws cards. It's all about drawing and cycling your deck and just doing gobs and gobs of damage and calling out side schemes and doing all the things that you want to do in order to take down the big baddie. Like in this case would be Green Goblin. I should have probably played him in expert form, but really that advanced glider coming out on the table, that could have been such a game changer if I would have been allowed to activate him to activate. After attached villain activates against you, it activates against you again. So we stopped that first activation. which prevented the second activation. That could have just gotten so out of hand had we not been able to uh, knock him out. And so like a standard two or an expert two, oh man, now we're really causing ourselves problems if we were to go that route. So no, this is a fun game. I hope that you enjoyed watching it. Again, if there's anything that you saw that I did wrong, I'll probably post this one to my YouTube channel. If you see anything I did wrong, just leave it in the comments down below. And if you want to see me hop on and do live plays, just jump on stream on Twitch and like my channel, and then you should get notified for live games that pop up. And I'll probably be doing them several times throughout the week, maybe even every day, depending upon what I'm in the mood for. Um, I also like to play with pre-con decks, and that's one thing that this Octagon is format is really awesome because it's already got all of the pre-con decks loaded in it. So I could just quickly put a game out on the table. And if anybody wants to play a multiplayer game, just reach out and maybe we can get something worked out there too. So, and you can also contact me. My email is boardgamelawyer@gmail.com. And I am the board game lawyer, although I've never technically ever won a case. But if for some reason you get into an argument during a board game, uh, give me a call. Maybe we can get it worked out. Get something settled anyway. Anyway, thanks for watching my video today, and I'll hope to bring you one again very soon. Take care.